Hello everyone and welcome to this new video about Golang, and today we're going to look at switch statements. So switch statements are an alternative way to basically handle a program in different ways according to a condition. So basically checking for a condition and reacting accordingly. So in last video we've seen if-else statements, and you might ask, well, isn't if-else statements enough? Well, technically you could use if-else statements everywhere and just forget about switch statements, but sometimes switch statements are better for a variety of reasons. That can be not only readability, because of course switch statements, when you have to check just one variable in various cases of it can make the code way more readable, but it also can improve performances. So if you worked with C, or for example with C++ or Java, then you're already familiar with switch statements. But however, you need to be careful about one thing. That is, for example, in C, you're probably, and forget about this if you never used C, but I'm going to introduce at the beginning because I'm sure you will make this error quite often if you come from C. And that is, in C, you always break the statement after, because otherwise you're going to run the other cases. So in Golang, you do not need to do this. It basically will just execute just one case on its own. So you will not need to put a break statement in switch expressions. So let's start with now explaining what a switch expression is. So now let's suppose we want to write a program that takes a number between 0 to 9 in integer format and then returns extended basically English word for that number. So for example, you might have 0 and then you get as an output the string 0, 1, and then you get 1, and so on. Well, imagine doing that with if-else statements. So imagine you will have a value here, type integer and equal, for example, 5. Then what you have to do is if value is equal to 0, then print, I don't know, it would be like font print line 0. And then you will basically copy this and then say, oops, else if value equals to 1, then print out 1. And then else if value equals 2, and so on. As you can see, this is not clean at all, and also it's not super good in terms of performances. So how can we also optimize this? Well, we can use a switch statement. And the syntax for a switch statement is basically the following. It will be switch, then the variable we're going to check, and then we're gonna put some curly braces. Actually, let's make a multi-line comment for it, because like this. And then inside the curly braces, we're gonna put the actual logic code. And so, for example, we're gonna put case, and then the value for that case, then a colon, and the code we want to execute for that case. So case value 2, for example, and then code, and so on. Sometimes, however, you want to also insert a default case. So basically, that means, okay, if it's neither, then if it basically doesn't fit, if it doesn't fit in one of these cases, then you might just want to return a default clause and then just return the value for. And this is why it's called a default statement. And where we're not sure that a value will be in one of these cases, it's important that we include one, because otherwise maybe we might break our program. So with this said, let's now actually use it practically. So let's switch on the value of value, so switch value, and then we're going to open curly braces, and here we're going to include value cases for value. So maybe what we might include case 0, and I'm going to say font print line 0, then case 1, and then font print line, and then 1. And then you can repeat this, and as you can see, oh, I forgot the quote. Okay, and as you can see, this is very simple. So for this reason, and this is way cleaner. So let's copy paste this. And okay, so I think we're done. Yes, because we have, okay, yeah, 10 cases. And now we just need to basically change the value for each case, and that is, in this case, it's 3. And here it's 4, here's 5, it's 6, here's 7, here's 8, and here's 9. And also we need to change the values instead. So this will be 9, and this one. And so this is how we can actually do the same thing as before, but using a switch statement. And then maybe we want to insert a default clause. So maybe if our value is not between 0 and 1, we can say a value exceeds range 0 to 9, for example. And this is basically our check So now let's try to run this code. Go run switch.go. Then we get 5 because our variable is equal to 5. Now let's try to put in 1, for example. And we get 1. And so instead, if we, for example, increase our variable by a lot, maybe put it equal to 16, then if we try to run it, we will get value exceeds range 09. And so this is basically how you work with switch statements. So with this said, I think we have covered enough in this video. And in the next one, we're going to start looking at another important data type in Golang, and that is arrays.